Prime Minister Narendra Modi has brought the infiltration debate back to the center of Bihar's election campaign, accusing the Congress and the RJD of doing political tours to protect infiltrators and saying such people are grabbing your homes and deciding Bihar's future. He also targeted the opposition for having no time for the Ram temple. He in fact also mentioned Lalu Prasad Yadav's family having a good time celebrating foreign festivals. That's what he said. This is after a video of Lalu Prasad Yadav celebrating Halloween with his grandchildren went viral. Now all this, he said, the Prime Minister said at a political rally in Bihar, Seemanchal. Prime Minister Narendra Modi unleashed a fiery attack, making infiltrators the central poll issue. Seemanchal votes, remember, in the second phase of elections, which is on the 11th of November. This is the part of the state that in which there's this significant Muslim population. There are also several seats here that are on the border. Prime Minister has warned that the Mahagathbandhan is not fighting for Bihar's future, but for Ghuspetias or infiltrators. Prime Minister has alleged that the opposition is taking out yatras not for Vikas, but for vote bank protection of illegal infiltrators. Now, it was not just the Prime Minister who spoke today in Bihar. Yogi Adityanath, the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, hit the trail with sharp attacks, calling Tejasvi Yadav, Rahul Gandhi and Akhilesh Yadav, Pappu, Tappu and Akku. Now, the Congress has responded sharply to this, saying that BJP leaders are trying to divert attention from their own failures at governance, both at the centre and the state of Bihar. They've also said that it is the job of the centre to ensure that all our borders are strong and that infiltration is checked. They have blamed the BJP, alleging that the party wants to polarize the election and divide voters. So can the BJP's Hindutva push or infiltration push unite traditional upper caste and OBC voters? Will RJD's social justice message, welfare from both sides also counter this appeal? And how does Nitish Kumar's alliance switch change the balance? Remember, development and jobs have been the primary focal point of this election. Now, what happens to them, considering that it's infiltration identity that's being talked about a lot now? The answers could decide which way of Bihar wins this election. We will be joined by a panel of guests, but first up, the reactions.
कांग्रेस हो या आरजेडी, इनको सिर्फ घुसपैठियों से लगाव है। ये लोग घुसपैठियों को बचाने के लिए राजनीतिक यात्राएं करते हैं। ये लोग दुनिया भर में घूमने फिरने जाते हैं। अब मुझे बताइए भैया, क्या बिहार का भविष्य आप तय करेंगे कि घुसपैठिया तय करेगा? एक घुसपैठिए आपकी संपत्ति पर कब्जा कर रहे हैं, आपके संसाधनों पर अपना हक जमा रहे हैं, और इसलिए बिहार को बचाना है घुसपैठियों से। घुसपैठियों को निकालना चाहिए कि नहीं निकालना चाहिए? जरा पूरी ताकत से बताइए, घुसपैठिए जाने चाहिए कि नहीं जाने चाहिए? साथियों, आरजेडी हो या कांग्रेस, इनका विकास से दूर दूर तक का कोई नाता नहीं है। एनडीए की पहचान विकास से है और आरजेडी कांग्रेस की पहचान विनाश से है।
एनडीए विजयी होगा, बिहार विजयी होगा। एनडीए की विजय बिहार की विजय के साथ जोड़ करके देखना होगा, और इसके लिए बहनों और भाइयों, बटेंगे नहीं, कटेंगे भी नहीं। याद करना, बंटे थे तो कटे थे, बटेंगे नहीं तो कटेंगे नहीं, एक रहेंगे तो सेफ भी रहेंगे।
We have Professor Subodh Mehta of the RJD joining us. We have Amitabh Tiwari, founder of Vote Why, political strategist and author, joining us now. We have Dr. Pooja Tripathi, spokesperson of the Congress Party. Neeraj Kumar, spokesperson of the BJP, is also here with us. And we will be joined by Parimal Kumar, who is the JDU spokesperson, joining us in just a bit. Thank you all of you for being part of this broadcast. Neeraj Kumar, to you first. Batenge to Katenge was, sir, in some ways the focal point of 2024 Lok Sabha elections, and the elections did not go the way the BJP wanted it to. Clearly, Hindutva has its limitations, specifically in the state of Bihar. Do you really think that you need Hindutva apart from all the welfare and सोशल इंजीनियरिंग दैट यू वांट? आपको लगता है कि ये जो बटेंगे कटेंगे जो योगी जी ने आज बोला है, इससे जो आप लोगों का कास्ट आउटरीच है, सोशल आउटरीच है, उस पर कोई इम्पैक्ट पड़ेगा? मिस्टर नीरज कुमार. Okay, Amitabh Tiwari, I come to you as an expert. Explain to us the context of, not the context, but in some ways the undertones of both Yogi speaking about, batenge to katenge, and also the Prime Minister speaking about infiltration not once, not twice. He's been speaking about it for weeks now. So clearly, this is not political for him. This also concerns the larger issue of national security. But how is this going to influence voting patterns in Bihar?
No, essentially, if you see, I mean, in Bihar, there is less amount of polarization if you compare it with Uttar Pradesh. Now, if you divide Bihar into North and South Bihar, since the minority population is higher in North Bihar compared to South Bihar, you see the effects of polarization in North Bihar. Seemanchal is in North Bihar. Around 70% of Muslims of Bihar live in North Bihar. And the highest number of seats, also around 140 out of 243, are in North Bihar. So even in 2020, the BJP was, or rather the NDA was ahead in North Bihar in 86 out of those 140 seats. In South Bihar, where the minority population is far lesser and only 30% of the state's minority population lives, we see caste-based voting, or we see caste coming into play. Right. That's why you saw that in South Bihar, the Mahagathbandhan, especially in Shahabad and Magad region, where the Dalit population is also fairly high, did well and was leading in the South Bihar region. So I think strategically, if you see some of the campaigners from the BJP would try to get this fact across to the voters, and there is where the issue of infiltration or batenge to katenge crops in.
It's an approach that the NDA seems to be using, infiltration in Seemanchal and maybe in south of Bihar, caste and other factors. We have Manish Kumar Pandey of the BJP joining us now. Manish ji, ये बताइए, जब योगी जी ने बटेंगे कटेंगे वाला जो आज यूज़ किया है स्लोगन, इससे क्या आपके जेडीयू के साथ जो संबंध है या तो फिर आपका सोशल इंजीनियरिंग अप्रोच है, उस पर क्या इम्पैक्ट आएगा? क्योंकि हिंदुत्व के लिमिटेशंस भी हैं बिहार में स्पेशली.
नहीं, देखिए, ये बटेंगे तो कटेंगे को सिर्फ वोट की राजनीति से या चुनाव के समय तक देखना मुझे लगता है कि उचित नहीं है. ये तो बिल्कुल पूरे हमारा जो पुराना इतिहास रहा है, हम गुलामी कालखंड से अगर हम अपने 1200-1300 वर्षों की पुरानी घटनाओं से अगर हम सबक लेने की बात करेंगे तो शायद हम गुलामी कालखंड में आए ही थे तभी, इसीलिए वजह से जब हम बटे थे, चाहे वह मुगलों का शासन रहा हो या बाद में अंग्रेजों का शासन रहा हो, यहाँ के राज रजवाड़े जब आपस में बटे तभी हमारे ऊपर आक्रमण हुआ.
आपके लिए ये पॉलिटिकल चीज नहीं है, ये आपके लिए नेशनल सिक्योरिटी की बात है. दैट्स व्हाट इवन द होम मिनिस्टर हैज बीन सेइंग.
जैसे हम अपने स्थापना काल से हमने राष्ट्रवाद की बात की, जैसे हमने धारा 370 की बात की, जैसे हम राम मंदिर की बात की, हम वैसे ही बात करते हैं कि हम जितना हमारी एकता रहेगी, जितना हम संगठनात्मक रूप से मजबूत रहेंगे, उतना राष्ट्र मजबूत रहेगा हमारा, उतना हमारा देश जो है वह सुरक्षित रहेगा.
Okay, Dr. Tripathi, I was listening to the Prime Minister's speech and he says that, if there are infiltrators and they do a job that a local can do but at a much lesser price, it's actually a loss for the locals and people will start employing infiltrators. So the infiltrators are not just deciding on the futures of the natives, but also in some ways cutting their livelihoods. How would you respond to that? Because this has become about jobs, this has become about livelihood and also lives.
And says the man who's been in power for 11 years, and Nitish Kumar ji much more than that, in 20 years they could not save jobs. they could not save lives. The law and order deterioration has spiked up to 85%. There is massive migration of 7.5 million people, and it's very funny that Prime Minister brings out. Also, I want to say on this TV debate, I want to say that about any narrative, the speech, the level, and the political discourse used by Prime Minister is very demeaning. And it is very crude and it's insulting to the whole democracy of India when he uses things like kanpatte par katta rakh ke unko CM bana diya, when he uses things like latkan
Party, one would argue that even the same is applicable for Congress party and Rahul Gandhi, because he said, the Prime Minister can even dance for votes. So when we talk about political discourse, I think both parties are here to blame. But when it comes to the actual essence of it, he's speaking to masses there, he's speaking in Seemanchal. So clearly, like Mr. Manish also pointed out, that he's making it a larger issue, not just political, because he's been speaking about it for a long time now.
If and when infiltration is a problem, then whose calling is it? Who's responsible for it? Home Minister Amit Shah is responsible. He is standing on a political forum and blaming Amit Shah for failing to stop infiltration, and the data speaks otherwise. Vasudha, in UPA era, this is Parliament data: 88,792 Bangladeshi infiltrators were ousted from the country, while in NDA era, 2,506, just 2,506 till 2019 and 1,822 till 2024. But they'll go and say batenge, but they know, somewhere they know that Bihar is a land of social justice and community alliance.
Okay, Professor Subodh Mehta, how do you look at the Prime Minister's big appeal on infiltration and the fact that he has called for people to vote out the infiltrators and also teach a lesson to parties that he says are undertaking political tours only to protect the votes of the Guspetias? How would you respond to that?
Vasudha, look, the responsibility, the onus lies with the Prime Minister and the Home Minister of this country and the Chief Minister of Bihar, who is the Home Minister of Bihar. Now, his failure is reflected in the words of Prime Minister himself. In the SIR process, none of the Guspetia has been found in Bihar. The onus is to Prime Minister to tell to the nation that what happened to the Guspetia. First. Second thing is that the Prime Minister should have come out with the report card of 20 years of, misgovernance of Bihar. But in order to hide that misgovernance, they are bringing out these types of words that should be placed for the debate. But you know that the BJP is known for the ideology of, which originates from Nagpur, which is the RSS ideology. And when you go back into the history, you will find that Bihar is the land of Buddha, is the land of Samrat Ashok, and Samrat Ashok Chakra is the idea of India, which has been incorporated in the constitution.
Okay.
And that it speaks about Bahujan Hitaya.
Manish Pandey, you wanted to respond to that because दोनों जो स्पोक्सपर्सन हैं आरजेडी एंड कांग्रेस के, उन्होंने ये जो इम्पोर्टेंट बात उठाई है कि जिम्मेदारी किसकी है, इन्फिल्ट्रेशन रोकने की जिम्मेदारी सेंटर पर भी आती है ना, इट्स अ लार्जर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ द एमएचए, तो व्हाई इज द ब्लेम गेम हैपनिंग? तो हाउ वुड यू रिस्पॉन्ड सर?
ये बहुत वाजिब सवाल है। देखिए, ऐसा है कि ये घुसपैठिया सबसे पहले तो स्पोक्स पर्सन मैं चाहूंगा आरजेडी और कांग्रेस की ये तय करे आज डिबेट में, पहले तो एक्सेप्ट करे कि हाँ बिहार में घुसपैठिया है या नहीं। पहला बात है या नहीं, ये पहले तय हो जाए। ये मानते हैं कि नहीं कि बिहार में घुसपैठिया है, कौन लाया, किसके कारण हुआ, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है। सबसे पहले तो ये एक्सेप्ट कर ले कि हाँ है या नहीं।
पहले आप एक्सेप्ट करिए, सर की एक्सरसाइज में कितने घुसपैठिए मिले ये डेटा दे दीजिए हमें। आपने एक्सेप्ट,
आप बता दो है या नहीं।
भाई
मैं डिबेट को आगे बढ़ा दूंगा।
इलेक्शन कमीशन है।
Okay, now let me also ask Parimal Kumar. Yes, he's been waiting for a long time. Thank you so much for waiting, sir. How does the JDU look at this debate? Because Nitish Kumar also demands, I mean, he has commanded votes of the Muslim community also in the past. He's seen as somebody who unites a lot of people. How does the JDU look at comments like batenge to katenge, or for that matter, this emphasis on infiltration debate?
You are looking at this particular statement that in the narrow sense, actually you see the slogan of Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi is Sabka Saath Sabka Vikas. He said in the national context, because you see there are certain decisive factors, disparate particular people in Maharashtra. They want to divide the society. You know that during Lalu Ravi governance, actually, more than 130 Congress rights are. So it is the need of the hour is to unite everyone to ensure the integrity and security of the country. So actually, as far as the question Nitish Kumar is concerned, so Nitish Kumar is the chief minister who done maximum work for the minority. Actually, right from the 2005. You recall Bhagalpur, right? During Congress period, and when RJD came in power, done nothing for minority, only got their vote, tried to exploit their sentiment. And for Yadav Patroli community, the intention of Lalu Prasad women to impart education through Sharwaha Vidyalaya
Okay.
to create.
Okay, that's an important point. Let me get in Amitabh Tiwari. Amitabh Tiwari, as an expert who has studied Bihar, how would you respond to perception of a debate like this? Because this clearly has a different connotation. Amitabh Tiwari.
Sorry.
This debate in Bihar has a different connotation, very different from what it has in UP or in Bengal. In Bengal, the SIR debate plays out very differently. A Batenge to Katenge debate in Bihar plays out very differently from what it would in UP. How would you look at the outcome or the prospective playing out of a sentiment like this?
No, it's essentially, as I said, it moves from region to region. So this will have an impact, or this is likely to have a higher impact in North Bihar seats, which are around 140.
But you would agree that in Seemanchal, the Muslim vote is far more consolidated this time. So last time there was a factor. This time too there is MIM. But how do you think that this would also lead to consolidation of Muslim votes, and what would that then mean for the NDA alliance?
So, I mean, this time there could be a lesser impact of AIMIM, but what is also being felt on the ground is that the impact of the rupees 10,000 scheme on Muslim women is also fairly decent, and that too they are willing to vote for NDA wherever the JDU candidate is contesting vis-a-vis a BJP candidate. So there are very layers within layers and very nuanced sort of voting behavior also, which we are witnessing. And anyways, if you see, even if there is a consolidation, the polarization or consolidation as per a Yale study always benefits the BJP.
Okay.
So even if you see the Lok Sabha, the half of the population is Muslim, but still the 4 Lok Sabha seats were divided 2-2.
Absolutely.
And even the Vidhan Sabha seats, the NDA had won 12 out of 24. And largely they have been in this range.
We saw the BJP winning the Araria bypoll also. I think the NDA winning the bypoll also. That's a very important point. Closing remarks, Pooja Tripathi, Hindutva, is Hindutva making an attempt to triumph over caste outreach and also welfare outreach, and do you think that will succeed in Bihar, and how will that respond? I mean, how will that really impact the Congress's prospects?
I don't think, absolutely not. Bihar has been a leader in a land of JP movement. Bihar has been a land of Karpuri Thakur. And now, when we talk about social justice, Biharis are asking question, what is their solution on employment? What is your solution on industrialization? What is your solution on law and order? What is your solution on various education, health? And that's where, social justice would any day triumph over this divisive Hindutva politics of Bharatiya Janata Party. It won't work. And we see Hemanta Biswa Sarma not campaigning in Bihar. And we see Yogi ji toned down. Where is her Namzade, Haramzade narrative? Not in Bihar. So they know that it won't work. And now people
okay, Mr. Mehta, closing remarks from you, sir, before I go to Parimal Kumar.
Look, Bihar is now witnessing, along with the social justice, Tejasvi Prasad Yadav has come forward with the vision of economic development of Bihar. And along with the economic development, we want to raise the purchasing power of each and every household by giving job to each and every household. On the other hand,
the jobs will remain the focal point. Completely out of time. Parimal Kumar, last word from you, sir. Jobs will remain the political pivotal point of the campaign. Infiltration will not matter. Debate around Hindutva won't matter. What would your response be?
Actually, Bihar is the land of harmony during the Sushasana period. As far as the question of Tejasvi Yadav is concerned, the RJD spokesman is saying the economic aspect, unemployment. You know that in 2020, when Tejasvi Yadav filed submitted detail to the election commission, during 2020, there were probably 8 criminal cases against him. Now, in 2025, the criminal cases rose like from probably 8 to that of 22.
So it's a baggage
you
of
see,
jungle raj and corruption that will matter. Completely out of time. Thank you all of you for joining me on this broadcast. We will keep discussing this as the campaign heats up. Bihar once again stands at a crossroad between identity and aspiration, religion and reservation. We also see emotions and economics playing out. But can Hindutva override caste loyalties, or old social equations remains to be seen? Just about 24 hours to go for the poll campaigning to end. But what kind of politics will define Bihari politics from here on remains to be seen. With that, it's time for a short break. More news and updates on the other side.